Hi, my name is Miles Washington, and this is my final exam project. I'll be comparing two texts from our course, Punishment by Rabith Tagore from the first half with Dr. Roy, and Lot's Wife by Anna Akhmatova from the second half with Dr. Taylor. My focus is how both writers show women being punished for breaking expectations or simply for being human. Introduction. Even though these two works come from different cultures and different time periods, completely different writing styles, they share a powerful idea. Women's lives are shaped, controlled, and often destroyed by the systems around them. Both Tagore and Akhmatova look at what happens when a woman steps outside the role society gives her, and both texts ask us the question why women are punished more harshly than men for the smallest forms of resistance. Punishment background. In Punishment, Tagore shows life in rural Bengal under a strict and unfair social system. The story follows two brothers, Dikram and Chidam, who live in poverty. After Dikram kills his wife in a moment of anger, Chidam blames his own wife, Chandra, to protect his brother. This moment exposes how fragile a woman's position is. Chandra could be sacrificed without hesitation. The story highlights how both the family structure and the legal system treat women as replaceable and without agency. Key ideas. What makes Chandra powerful is her silence and her final decision. Throughout the trial, she says almost nothing, which becomes her way of resisting, and in the end, when her husband begs to see her, she refuses. Her line, "I won't go to him," is incredibly strong because it's the only form of control she still has. Tagore uses this moment to criticize a society where men control every outcome and where justice is twisted to protect them. Lot's wife background. Akhmatova takes a small biblical moment, Lot's wife turning into salt, and turns it into something deeply emotional. Instead of judging her, the poem focuses on what she felt, the memories, the life she left behind, and the pain of losing everything at once. Akhmatova gives her a humanity that the original biblical story never does. The poem lets us see Lot's wife not as someone who's disobeyed, but as someone who simply loved her home. Key ideas. In this poem, the single glance is filled with meaning. She's remembering the city where she sang, raised her children, and lived her entire life. Akhmatova questions her suffering is treated as insignificant, and this reflects the poet's own experience living under oppression in the Soviet Union, where women and families constantly lost people, homes, and stability. So the poem becomes much more a retelling. It's a tribute to emotional truth and to women whose stories are often ignored. Shared theme. Both texts show women punished for stepping outside the society expects of them. Chandra is punished because she doesn't obey. Lot's wife is punished because she has emotions and memories. In both cases, their humanity is treated as a flaw. The systems around them, the legal system in Tagore's story, and religious judgment in Akhmatova's poem, are used to erase them or silence them. But both authors push back against that by giving these women a voice. Modern world connection. What's striking is how relevant these stories still are. Today, women still face double standards, and they are often blamed for their own suffering. We see example in victim blaming, unequal treatment in court, or even online harassment for women who speak up of having strong opinions. Society still tells women how to behave, how emotional they can be, and what roles they should play. These works show that even though time has passed, the pressure placed on women hasn't disappeared. Why these stories still matter? These stories still matter. They force us to look closely at the systems we live in today. They challenge us to ask who is allowed to make mistakes, who is forgiven, and who gets punished. They also remind us to pay attention to the voices we often overlook, especially women who resist in quiet ways or whose stories have often been pushed aside. Conclusion. In conclusion, Punishment and Lot's Wife both shine a light on how women navigate unfair systems and how society punishes them for simply being human. Even though the stories come from different cultures and eras, they connect throughout the theme of gender, power, and injustice. And that theme still matters today. Thank you for watching.